Hey creative friends, it's Gwen and I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. Today's share is for Cut to You and I am excited because I'm using the new Pink Fresh Studio Oh What Fun collection for my share today. Those of you who do subscribe will know that I did a bunch of stash busting in December. I actually hosted a YouTube hop, which I will leave a link to up above in case you missed that. But because I did all of that stash busting, I didn't feel guilty one bit buying all the things of this new collection. So, and I'm using it today. So I will be doing another Christmas layout and I'm using a cut file from Cut to You, of course, called a Star Cluster. So you'll see this one come together. Now, because it's my first layout with this collection, I am doing a super quick sweep. I'm just looking for colors that match where I'm going and keeping the elements pretty small, because as you can see there, the cut file that I'm using is quite large and I don't want to have to add too much extra to this layout. So I have gone ahead and backed my cut file off camera. I chose to use just the same pattern paper for all the stars in this case. I wanted just to keep it really simple. When I was making this page, I didn't actually have a lot of time on my hands. So I just thought, yep, you know what? Use the frame, the same pattern paper for the background frame, the edge of my layout there. And that same print I will use to back all of the stars in the cut file. The plan I have is to have the photo on the left and my title somewhere on the right. I'm very keen to lock the title in quite early on in the design because I'm a little bit concerned that with the cut file and the positioning of the photo that I may run out of space and then be stuck as to where to pop it. I'm also really keen to pull out elements from the collection that are round or maybe star shaped. I don't want too many elements that are very square or heavy or quite blocky for this one. I just think anything that's going to be too square or blocky is going to compete with the shapes and the pattern in the stars. I will say here too, there are a stack of embellishments and little bits and pieces in this collection. I did end up getting everything because Christmas, and just going through them all, just trying to audition everything and try and get a feel for where I was going with the layout. What I ended up doing after a lot of mixing and matching and trial and error was choosing elements in the larger stars that were larger. So the two circles that you see in the bottom two stars are the largest of the circle elements that I end up using. And then for the medium stars, I use medium-sized circles in their centers. And then for the stars up the top there, I use the smallest circles that I could find in the collection. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you will know that none of this is stuck down as yet. The good news is that it does pretty much stay the way that you see it here. Photo on the left and then my title, which is Joy, on the right. And I'm pretty keen on the colors that I've got there too now, and I'm conscious about bringing in extra colors. So it does stay pretty blue, red, and white. There are a few little touches of green, but not very much at all. And I'm really happy with the fact that I've gone with the larger circle elements at the bottom of the page in those larger stars, and then the smaller ones in the smaller stars. I just think it really helps that cut file and the embellishments to flow together. I do talk about this in that it's a tricky one because I know I sell cut files, but I don't want the cut files to ever be something that's going to take away from your photos and your memories. They really need to be there to enhance the photos rather than, you know, the layout's not about the cut file, the layout's about this precious photo. So I just felt that, yeah, adding the embellishments in a way that matched the cut file helped it to blend and helped it feel more like it was part of the layout and not just this extra big special thing that I had added to it. I hope that makes sense. So now I was sort of thinking that there was a little bit of empty space at the top of the page there. I wasn't really liking how pointy, I want to say, that cut file, like how sharp that point was at the top. So I wanted to add a few little embellishments just to kind of broaden, how do I explain that? Yeah, like take up more space. I wanted the elements on the page to take up more space in the top section there. So I did find a couple of really fun elements. One says merrymaking, that one at the top in blue, and then there is the red one there that says season of joy, and that actually ends up being the title for the whole page. Later on I do add one more in that little empty space that's under the word joy there. I've just found that that was a little bit of an empty gap, so I will fill that as we go along as well. And I fuss a little bit too with the color of the circle element in each of the stars, because I'm keen to balance out the colors. See how the title there, joy, is quite blue and quite heavy, and then next to it I also have that blue leaf element. So to balance that out, I have put the house there with the blue background above and to the left, and then I'm trying to go, okay, well, do I need another blue element next to that in the star beside the house, and where is the red going to go? And I'm mixing and matching, and I'm really thinking, how are the colors going to work together? I did also struggle a little bit with that space that's between the J in joy and the edge of my photo. That's the piece that does end up staying there. But boy, I did audition several other items before finding that one. They were either too square and blocky or perhaps the wrong color. So that one ended up being perfect, and I love the sentiment too. It's just, oh, what fun. It's a fun photo on Christmas morning, so it felt right with the feel of the layout and the title. So it's at this point that I decide that that little Christmas tree is too green, and that I need something different for that top section. I think it just got to a point where I was like, there's too many circles. So I did take a couple away, I think 2, and I do add a little subtitle there in a moment that you will see. While I think about that, I'm going to go ahead and glue down the elements that I am happy with. I really love this part of the process and I find it really therapeutic. So if ever I'm umming and ahhing, if I've got the layout to a point where I just need to think about it for a moment, I will start gluing things down. Before I started making YouTube videos, this is the point that I would generally probably get up and walk away and have a think about it. But now that I'm recording, I have found that I'm being a little bit tougher on myself and just making a decision and getting it all done in the one sitting. And it has actually made me a faster scrapbooker. So I'm really thankful for that, actually. Now I am getting very close to finishing up the page, just a few final touches which you'll see here in a moment. As always, I will leave you with close-up images, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, any questions, leave them below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!